Hey everybody, it's Mandy Gatlin, and I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to get settled and join in a little bit early, a few minutes early for this energy healing session on anxiety. Thank you for joining, if you are joining. And if you are joining on the YouTube page, then you'll want to head over to the web page where there's a question and answer box so that you can join in with the whole group. If you're at the YouTube page, I won't be able to see your questions, so make sure to join in over on our webpage, which is amandagatlin.com/energy healing or anxiety. All right, so go ahead and hop on over there. I'm going to check the sound really quickly and make sure that we have sound. And everything looks good there. So it looks like we have sound and video. So this is good. We're all ready to go. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to get settled in. And go ahead and type in your questions. If you have questions, go ahead and type them in. Feel free to ask anything about anxiety. Take this opportunity. This is a free energy healing clinic. I do also have paid energy healing clinics a couple of times a week on various topics. The last one we just did was on arthritis. And there is another one up on the eyes, energy healing on the eyes, that we just did last week. And those were both really good sessions. So feel free to ask your questions. Since this is a free session, ask away. I'm going to be doing some energy healing with you guys about mid-session. And the sessions last about a half hour. And so you can feel free to ask your question. Now, if you're watching this and the live event is over with, you can still go ahead and email me your question. I usually respond within 24 hours. If it's a really busy week for me, it might take me a couple of days to get back to you, but go ahead and email me, and that email address is discoveryourenergy@yahoo.com. Okay, so feel free to email me there with your questions as well. So I'm so happy you're joining and learning more about this beautiful thing called energy healing. It's so exciting. It puts the power back in your own hands, and it really helps you on your path with so many things, everything from physical symptoms to mental things to emotional issues. It helps with so many things, even with relationships. We're going to be doing a session tomorrow, energy healing on relationships. That should be a really great session. We'll be going over the different types of people in energy. There's 4 different types for your energy. So you can find out which type you are, and then get more information on how to work with your type, as well as when you find out what the other person's type is. So this can not only help you with your spouse, but with your mother, your father, your son, daughter, anybody in your life. And it works really well to know what your energy type is, and then to be able to come to an understanding, and it creates big healing in the relationships. So, okay, so we're just about now into the time, and I think everybody's on who will be joining. So thank you again for joining this energy healing clinic for tonight. And go ahead and type in your questions as needed on the side box. If you're, again, I'm going to say one more time, if you're at the YouTube page, go ahead and join me at my web page, because that's where I will be able to see your questions. So you can go to amanda-healing-for-anxiety. And you can type in your questions there. If you have trouble finding that link, then go ahead to amandagatland.com, and at the top, click on Energy Healing Clinic. And then you should be able to scroll down and find the link to the anxiety page. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and go over anxiety really briefly, what it is, why you might be experiencing it. And then we'll get into a very nice meditation and energy healing session so that you can see how to work with this energy and use it to your benefit. Because that is what anxiety is. A lot of us, everyone gets anxiety. It's completely normal, okay? You're not weird if you get it. And there are different types of anxiety. So we're going to be talking specifically about a type tonight. The types we are not going to be talking about are the anxiety that you may get, for example, if danger is imminent, okay? That's a normal kind of anxiety, and that's the kind that you should have. Like, say a hurricane is going to blow in, all right? And you have anxiety about the hurricane. That's actually a good thing. You don't want to get rid of your anxiety if danger is imminent, okay, because it's protecting you. So that's not the kind we're going to be talking about tonight. We don't want to remove that kind. You need that, okay, and that is completely normal, and all animals and humans have that built in. Okay, so that's a type of anxiety. Another kind of anxiety is a form that builds up over time, and those are anxiety disorders. And I do believe that anxiety disorders are a result of the type of anxiety we're going to talk about tonight, where that anxiety builds up over time and you don't do anything about it, okay? So the anxiety disorder is basically, it gets to the point where it's impairing your normal functioning, and talking about things like PTSD, okay, and agoraphobia, panic disorders, okay, where over time these things trigger, and there really is no imminent threat, like in the first type. There's no imminent threat. It's just you're going through life and these things pop up and trigger for you. So, and I want to make sure to look to see if you guys are asking any questions. So I'm going to check that every once in a while too, okay? But the type of anxiety we're talking about tonight is a spiritual anxiety. And this type of anxiety, from what I see in most of the clients that I work with, it's a result of feeling separate, of lacking connection, okay? And I'm going to get into that more deeply. We're going to talk about that more deeply in this particular energy healing clinic, because it is something that is so crucial. And that's why I wanted to do this as a free clinic, because so many people experience anxiety on this level and they don't know what to do about it, and they suffer with anxiety. It causes so many symptoms for people, like lack of sleep, depression, sadness, constant worrying, all kinds of things that really are debilitating. I mean, they're not quite at the level of impairing your functioning, but in a way, to me, it's almost worse than PTSD, because when you have this level of anxiety, spiritual anxiety, you just walk about your day feeling completely bombarded and inundated and confused and sad and feeling completely disconnected and wondering what the heck is going on. It's almost worse. Okay. And I say that because a lot of people don't know what to do about it. And so they'll turn to Western medicine. All right. And we all know where that goes. I mean, Western medicine, and this, we can't blame ourselves as a culture. We don't want people to suffer, and we want to see people get better quickly. We don't want to see them go through any type of suffering, especially anxiety, especially if they're not sleeping. So you go to doctors, and then what do the doctors do? They slip you some pills and they say, take these and you'll feel better, and yeah, it makes you feel better temporarily. It masks, the symptoms temporarily, but underneath those symptoms, you're really still suffering. You're probably even less happy now. You're probably more sad because you're on drugs. And you get the symptoms of the drugs, which, I mean, gosh, if you watch TV and you see all those drug commercials, it's like diarrhea and rashes and, all these things. We don't want that. I don't want that. I'm sure you don't. So, how do you work with this energy of anxiety, and what does it mean? Okay, so most of the people that come to me are experiencing anxiety for a few reasons. One is because they're empathic. The person is usually a feeler. They're empathic. And the anxiety is too much for them. Okay, so most people experience anxiety day by day. That's pretty normal. But it tends to be that empaths feel it even more. So they have a harder time with anxiety, okay? And they're the ones that will tend to go to the doctors for help because they just can't take it, all right? They don't want that feeling anymore. So if you're empathic, you might be here for that reason, because you've reached a point where you're like, okay, this is too much for me. And to be empathic means that you're a feeler. Your soul came here to do some healing work, and a lot of empaths mistake their gifts. They come into their lifetime here, and they end up thinking that they are just going to be a victim to feeling everything. They feel confused and inundated by all these energies that they feel throughout the day. Like, say, when they walk into a mall, they feel everyone's energy. Um, and the reason that they came in as an empath is not to just feel everything. They came in as an empath to feel, but then to do something with that energy, to help the world, to be a healer. Usually that's the reason why that they came in as an empath. So if you are an empath and you're experiencing anxiety, and then you mask it with something like drugs or alcohol, or you run from it in some way, then you're not really following your soul's calling. You're kind of like running from it, okay? And you can do that, that's fine, but you're probably going to feel depressed. People who take drugs are not happy people, okay? They usually don't want to be on them, and at some point they want out of being on them. That they just figure out that wasn't an avenue that was really helping them. So of course you want to find a way back, and it tends to be hard. I mean, drugs can be addicting. That's also something I just saw some statistic that 91 people die a day because they're addicted to drugs. I mean, that's almost 100 people a day. That's incredible. I think that's probably higher than gun shootings and things, accidents. Um, so it's a serious issue, and I'm calling it out. Like, it needs to be stopped. I'm not a doctor, and so I have to give that disclaimer that, I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving medical advice. If you are on those drugs and you're seeking that help with a medical professional, then keep doing what you're doing. But I'm gonna try to talk to you tonight about working through some other avenues that are more holistic, to bring you to better health with your, and to really open up to what you're meant to be doing with this anxiety. Because, and that's what we're really here to talk about tonight, is why do I have the anxiety? Okay, so to give you a really brief example of how anxiety works, when I was in a prior relationship and then I started to get, my gifts were coming in more strongly. I had been neglecting my gifts for a long, long time. And at some point, I was getting highly anxious. The anxiety was building in me. I could literally feel the buzzing in my head because I was that anxious. I was seeing things at night, things were coming at me from all angles. And at some point, I went finally to a meditation class that felt right to me. And as I meditated, I got quiet and I started to realize that there was something there that was trying to get my attention. This was not just me being bombarded by things. I had never listened to those things that were coming in. I just kept going about my day and pushing those things aside and saying, whatever, they're not important. And when I finally started giving them attention, the anxiety in me totally went down. It totally calmed down. And I'm a medium, okay? I'm not saying that you're here tonight to learn to be that. You probably have some sort of gifts, or you probably have something on a spiritual level that's trying to come out in you. There's probably some sort of gifts or, something, in terms of even an everyday answer that's trying to get your attention. Okay, we're not even talking about this has to be high level. Okay, this could just be that you've been neglecting your creative side. This could be that you have been forcing a relationship along that is toxic and not healthy anymore. This could be that you are eating things that your body doesn't want anymore. Okay, all of those things can cause anxiety. If you are neglecting your soul's path, if you're neglecting, or pushing away, these true things that are true for you, anxiety will persist. So, this is very true. And the reason that this happens, the reason that we have anxiety, the reason that it comes up is just to wave a red flag. That's it. It's just to get your attention. It's not like it's trying to make you feel bad, okay? It's doing that for a reason. And the reason is to help you. It's to bring you information. So I always talk about whenever anything is happening to you, to release yourself from being in a place of, I'm a victim to this is happening to me, and instead get into an observer place and look at it just with observer eyes, almost like you're reading a newspaper and you're just reading the information. Okay, so tonight, that's what we're going to do in this energy healing session. We're going to get quiet and we're going to listen and we're going to see what comes up. And the way that you do that with anxiety, the way that you do that with anything, okay, basically I'm giving you the key, the secret to all of these energy healing clinics, okay? I'm giving you the key tonight, and that is you just have to get close to it. That's it. You just stop, you get quiet, and you get close to it. Now, I know that sounds really counterintuitive, and it's counterculture because our culture and our intuition both tell us to run from it, to stop it, to make it go away, right? Like our culture tells us, our medical doctors tell us, or even our friends want it to go away. They want anxiety to go away in us. Because if they see us being anxious, it makes them anxious. It makes them uneasy. And we don't want that in each other, right? But the funny thing is, it's all bad advice. It doesn't heal anything when you get the drugs. It doesn't heal anything when you run from it. It doesn't heal anything when you mask it. All that's doing is making it persist. And I will tell you, it will get worse. It will find a way. It finds a way to get you the information. It does. So if you just keep neglecting it, then at some point it will rise up and it will get louder and it will get stronger. Okay. So if we all know the symptoms of anxiety. I mean, I don't know that I need to go over that with you, but it tends to be for most people. They feel like sometimes a heaviness in their chest or like a palpitations in their chest. Sometimes they feel their heart racing, okay? Sometimes they feel a lot of energy in their head. They get a lot of headaches. Sometimes you get eye twitching also if you have heavy anxiety. Sometimes you get tension in your muscles, like in your back, your shoulders. Sometimes you hunch up, when you have anxiety. And all that's doing, the body is just clenching up because it's trying to get your attention. What does that do though? It shuts off the flow in you. So you're not able to then receive guidance that you need to be receiving because all of those channels and those meridians and everything in your body is all clenched up and, tight. So how are you then it's kind of a vicious circle. How are you then going to receive your information? How are you going to be connected to your gifts, right? So this is where the peaceful answer is to literally sit with your anxiety, act like it's a friend, sit next to it, and ask it what it has to tell you, all right? It might make you nervous to do that, but it's a very simple answer. It's free to do. You don't have any nasty side effects. In fact, when you do it, it makes you release the anxiety almost instantly. That is the beautiful, natural side effect of getting quiet and listening. It creates peace within you naturally. So if you do that, if you allow yourself or give yourself the time to connect, to meditate, to get closer to the anxiety, it will then result in you having more peace. Okay? You will feel more open. Your body will relax, and that nagging anxiety will dissipate naturally. So this is almost like when you get a nagging to do something and you just keep avoiding it and you get nervous about it, okay? And it causes the symptoms of like your stomach feeling upset, you feeling sick, it causes a whole chain reaction. That's what we're talking about with anxiety, okay? And that's because you're choosing to push it away or neglect it in some way. So most people that come to me, that's the reason I told you that third reason for anxiety is spiritual anxiety. It's because people are not connecting. They are kind of like hiding from it, you know. And this could be anything in life. Anxiety can come from anything. It can come from a problem in your relationship that you're scared to confront. It could come from um, something with your career that you're afraid to, move forward with. Like say you're not feeling right about something, and then you turn to doing things that aren't good, like blaming other people. Oh, so and so is creating this situation at work, and the whole time you're saying all those things, and the real reason is to try to get you to move forward, to move on from that place of work to your next new great job, but you are you're clinging to the anxiety and not listening to it. So this goes for anything in life. Like I'm telling you, anything in life. Okay. So I'm going to check to see if there's any questions again. See if you guys have anything to ask. All right. I don't see anything just yet. So hopefully I'm answering any questions that you have. Feel free to ask if you do have anything that you do need to ask. So basically, with with anxiety, how do you heal it? You have to establish your connection. You have to reestablish your connection. What is the connection? To source and to yourself. Those two things, okay? We are so highly connected to others already. You don't need to work on that, all right? We see people every day. People are in our vicinity. We are already connected to other people so easily. You don't need to work on that anymore. Okay? The thing that's lacking the most is the connection to source and to the self. Those two things are what cause anxiety if you have a lack of connection to source and to the self. So the thing that I offer, I have something on my website that's free. It is called a values worksheet. And if you go to my website, you can click on free stuff at the top. Okay, so go to amandagatlin.com, click on free stuff. I think it's the first link in that page, and download it. It is a values worksheet. If it doesn't load for you, email me and I will email it to you. Okay. The values worksheet is really important because it helps you determine what your highest value is. You will, on that worksheet, you will pick, I think, 5 values. You will go through and you'll circle words that are close to you, things that are important to you. You'll dwindle that down to 5, and then you'll dwindle it down to 1. Knowing your top value is so important for your life path. It is the thing that once you know it, it is the thing that you have to try to incorporate as much as possible in your life. Okay. For some people, that word is family. And I'll give you an example. So there was a woman that came to me and we did the values worksheet. She was overworked. She was working herself to death. She was feeling like bailing. She was on antidepressants. She was struggling. And her highest value was family. And she had no time for family. Okay. So no wonder she was having anxiety. She couldn't sleep at night. She was all stressed out. she had gone to a doctor. The doctor gave her drugs. The drugs were kind of helping her feel, at peace at times. But then she had to come to me because she was like, yeah, I'm taking drugs, but it's not really solving anything. Okay. So what she discovered was her number one value was family. And this whole time, all these years, she had been neglecting family. She hadn't been including it in her life. It was very low in her, priorities. She wasn't spending time with family, valuable time. She wasn't making family a priority in any way. It was all for her work and for her, what she thought she needed to be doing, in her mind, instead of what was in her heart. So that's where the values worksheet can help you, because it can help you determine what your value is. All right. And that's key. So once you have that, then you can do a little bit more work with it. There's some tips in the worksheet on how to work with it. If you have questions and you want to do a session to learn more about that, then just let me know. But that's going to be the key, is knowing your highest value. Once you sit down with yourself and you allow this quiet time, we're going to do this. We're going to do a very quick energy healing session. You're going to get a chance to tune in and hear what your truth is, right? What your highest value is, what your truth is. And once you have that, then you can center your life around it more. You can add in time, add in people, add in things that work with that truth, that work with that value. All right. So like, for example, one of my highest values is connection. That's one of my highest values. And I wasn't anywhere near connection in my previous relationship, in my previous life. I call it my previous life because my life is completely different now. In my previous life, I wasn't connecting at all. And what was happening? All these things from the other side were trying to connect with me. All of these things were like, hey, trying to get my attention. And that's when I finally said, okay, I give in. I went to meditation class. And what do you do in meditation class? You connect. So when I sat and I got quiet and I connected, it was like my whole body relaxed. Everything came into alignment for me. Answers started coming through. I started to feel important things coming to me, important answers that I didn't want to hear right away. Things about my relationship that weren't working and things about my life that weren't working. And I had to slowly work through those things and clear those things from my life and incorporate new things into my life. And I'm still doing that. All right. And that's what I'm talking about as part of your soul path, is like slowly adding in the things that are of highest value to you and that are your truth. All right. So let's go ahead and do an energy healing session. And we're going to work on specifically anxiety. So I want you to go ahead and close your eyes and get relaxed. And to start, let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And go ahead and roll your shoulders back about 3 or 4 times. And as you roll your shoulders back really slowly, take a nice deep breath in and pause, and then release it. And this time, when you take a deep breath in, I want you to picture light above you, and picture that light going in through the top of your head as you breathe in, bringing in the light. letting it sit in your heart space. And then when you release the breath, let it pour down your legs and go down into the earth. So breathe in again, practice that breath, bringing in the light into the top of your head, breathing in. And as you release it, feel your chest contract and feel the energy wash down your legs and into the earth. And let's do that again, a nice deep breath in from the heavens, from the divine. Feel that light coming down into your heart space, lighting it up. And as you release the breath, relax. Feel your shoulders drop. Feel your legs relax. Any tension that you might be holding on to, feel that tension washing away. Feeling your muscles getting softer. Taking nice deep breaths into the nose. Becoming aware of the breath as it travels down into your chest. Expands your chest. And as you release it, feel your belly contract. Getting nice and quiet. Feeling all the energy that might be in your head move down into your heart space. If you want, you can picture a little ball of energy in your head. And as you breathe out, watch that ball move down slowly. Just watch it move down until it reaches your chest, your heart space. And allowing that ball to just sit there in your heart space, holding that awareness in your heart. Getting nice and quiet, leaving everything aside from your day, from your month, from your year. Feel as though you're putting all of those things in a backpack. Stuff them all in that backpack and then set the backpack down. When you're done, you're more than welcome to pick that backpack up. For now, let's put it down. Feel yourself connecting to the light. Feel the awareness in your heart growing. Feeling your heart expand with light. Every time you breathe in, you feel that light growing in your heart space, fully encompassing your body. Feeling all the cells in your body lighting up, matching up to the vibration, the frequency of the divine, of source. Calling in your higher self, along with your guides, your angels, ascended masters, anyone looking over you. Feeling a connection to them. Feeling yourself completely relaxed now. want you to allow the anxiety to come up. Go ahead and think for just a moment something that's been causing you a lot of anxiety. And just pick one thing or two things for now. Very simple. The biggest things that have been nagging at you or on your mind. Just allow them to come into your head now. Those things that have been giving you that high anxiety. And feel what happens in your body. Become aware of the feelings in your body. Check in with your stomach, your chest, your shoulders, your head. Perhaps you feel some achiness somewhere in your body. Allow your body to speak to you right now, to let you know how it's been trying to tell you. In what way has it been signaling to you that you have anxiety? Allowing yourself to have that big aha moment. Realizing, maybe for the first time, this is how your body's been trying to help you. And acting as a guide. Now, you can finally listen to it. You can finally sit with it. Now we're going to get even closer to that feeling. So pick the place that's the most achy or the most loud, trying to get your attention in your body. And allow your mind to go to that place. Really feel yourself zoom in, almost like you're a camera lens and you're zooming in to that place. Really zoom in now. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you release it, zoom in even more closely. What is the emotion that you feel? What comes up for you now as you're zoomed in and listening? What's the emotion? Could be frustration, sadness, anger, could be joy. Just simply observe, what is the emotion you're feeling? And then take a nice deep breath in again, hold it, and then as you release it, zoom in even more closely to that place in your body. And as you zoom in, I want you to see light, almost like a spotlight, shining on that place. We're revealing truth now. We're bringing the light to the situation. I want you to ask, what is tied to that emotion? What's causing it? And just allow the first thing that comes to your mind. It might be a random thought. It might be a person. It might be a situation. But you'll know it will come to you right away. a deep breath in and release it, appreciating your body for telling you this information. And now, the third piece is asking what your truth is. What is your truth in this situation, or with this person, or with what's come up for you? Allow the first thing that comes to your mind. It may make no sense to you right now, but I want you to remember, what is that thing? What is the truth? What is your truth? What has your soul been trying to tell you about this situation? What is it that you need to know? And now we're going to take a deep breath in, bringing light in through the top of your head once again, letting it travel down into your heart space. And now I want you to send that light to that spot, wherever it was in your body. I want you to feel as you release and relax. As you breathe out, keep doing this breath, breathing in from the divine, bringing the light in, connecting it to your heart with love, and then sending it to that place in your body as you release the breath. And feeling that place in your body connect to source, feeling it light up. And now I want you to release it down your legs and into the earth, letting it go, telling it thank you for sending you this information, appreciating your body for helping you in this way, having gratitude for this beautiful miracle of your body. How amazing it is that our spirit is connected to our physical body, that it shows us what we need to see, even if we are not willing to see it or look at it. Feeling that light once again coming through the top of your head and feeling it, bringing it down into your entire body now. Feeling the light wash upon your entire body. Feeling all of your cells merge with the light and connect to this light. That you may move about your day, your night, into the next day and night from a place of love and connection, of feeling at one with your soul and with the divine. And when you're ready, slowly come back. So I want you to slowly feel yourself in your chair. You can open your eyes when you're ready. Move your fingers and your toes. And thank yourself for doing this amazing energy healing for anxiety for yourself tonight. It was very eye-opening. And the one thing that I will say, whatever information that you got tonight, don't attach to it too much. because you finally did listen. You finally did acknowledge and hear what you needed to hear. Know that because you listened, because you heard what you needed to hear, you can't go back. So changes will naturally happen for you because you have this new information. You will find yourself taking action naturally. So you don't have to try, okay? The key is that you listened. The key is that you acknowledged what you needed to hear. You can do this practice for yourself as many times as you need. You can do it in the morning or at night. You can do it right before bed. You can do it when something is really bothering you. It's a great way to get tuned in, to go right to that place in the body, to feel what the body is trying to tell you first, to follow that feeling, and then to listen to it, to bring your attention to it, and to simply ask those questions. What is it that I need to hear? What is it that you've been trying to tell me? Right? By doing that simple practice, you will initiate the start of a chain reaction that will naturally help you move forward in a more beautiful way on your path. And you will feel your anxiety levels decrease with time because you are now stepping into your truth. You're stepping into what makes you feel most at peace. You're no longer living by what other people want all the time. You're no longer giving in to what society says all the time. You are now living from a place of, I am listening to my own heart and I'm taking care of me. And I'm doing that from a place of my highest good. And by doing that, I'm doing what's best for all. And you can do this in a loving way. If it's making decisions that will impact others, simply communicate it to them in a loving way that you're listening to your heart and you're considering what they're saying as well. But you have to do what your heart tells you, and you want them to do what their heart tells them. And if it's a situation with a relationship, then you want to find a way to honor what both need, all right? That's the highest good of all. So you want to make sure that you're honoring yourself and then you're honoring the other person and what their heart desires as well. This starts the process of all of us connecting and being understanding and getting into a space of oneness, which is the ultimate goal for everyone, all right? So thank you so much for joining me for this live energy session. I appreciate you joining in. And once again, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave them. I think if you're on the YouTube page, you can leave them right there on the YouTube page. If you're on my website, you can email me. My email address, once again, is discoveryourenergy@yahoo.com. Okay, thank you so much and have a good evening.